So we were out here a few months ago watching the eagles' nest to see if they're still there, and they had a shift change, which was kind of neat. I guess they were sitting on their eggs, and one of the eagles was out foraging or doing their activities in the world and came back. They talked to each other a little bit, and they changed places, and the other eagle went out and did their thing too. So kind of mom and dad took turns and sitting on the nest. Today we noticed there's different looking eagles in the nest also. So those we assume are the babies. They're getting a little bigger and they have a different coloration on them. And so that's kind of neat to see the cycle go through and make it all the way through. So a big part of our job is protecting vulnerable species like the bald eagle. All of our contracts with the loggers or separate vendors in the back have a species sheet with vulnerable species like the bald eagle. And they have pictures and they're instructed to notify us if they find new ones. So it's a integral part of our business that the contractors and our employees work together to look out for these things like bald eagles and protect them so that we can do our business and have the species viable in the future. So we're in Levy County, Florida, near Bronson, on a tract of land we have near the coast. And one of the neat features we have in this tract is we have a bald eagle's nest behind us, you'll see, on one of the pine trees on the edge of a swamp we have here. Eagles typically place their nest where they can feed, and a lot of times near water sources. In this case here, there's not really a big lake or anything around us. There are a few lakes in the area. So this eagle decided to put his nest in an area that's got good visibility for him to forage and see small animals and rabbits and that sort of thing. So for me, they're usually very big nests in the woods, a lot bigger than most of the birds around here would build nests. Usually they're in live pine trees. I found them there. And on the edge of a swamp or something, they have good view of the land around them. Sometimes they're interior of a swamp, but usually they stand out like a sore thumb. It's a big, huge nest in the crook of a pine tree. So they're pretty, once you see one, they're pretty easy to spot. So the first thing that happens when we see a nest is we take data on it to find out on our maps where it is. We look at the activities around the area that we're doing to make sure we're not interfering with the national guidelines for bald eagles. On our phones, we have the Collector app. It has our whole GIS system for Rayonier in the phone. And when we're out in the woods like this and find something new and unique, we can actually go on our phone and drop a pin on it and collect a point and submit it. And everybody in Rayonier can see that point, even our GIS specialist who can help make those things more permanent in the system and we protect those neat spaces in the future. So this eagle's nest wasn't in our system yet, but we found it. We're doing our daily due diligence in the woods, and we've put it in our system, and so now we know where it is, and we can hand that information off to different foresters when they come around to do different kind of jobs. So we follow the national guidelines for bald eagles. There's two different buffer zones. One's a nesting season and one's a non-nesting season. Nesting season is roughly October through May, and that's when it gets big. It goes to 660 feet. During that time period, we won't do any clear cutting in that 660 feet, spraying, any mechanical work, that sort of thing, just to stay out so we don't disturb the eagles and they can have their nest and do what they need to do. When the nesting season's over, that buffer zone drops to 330 feet. And we can get a little closer and do more work. At that time of the year, the eagles aren't nesting, they're not on their eggs. We can do a little more work in that part of the world, but we never get within 330 feet with certain activities of the nest to protect the nest and from inadvertently being disturbed and that sort of thing. Our contractors receive maps with the nest on them and the buffer zones. They know to stay out, and if we're doing work in the area and they may be getting close, we'll flag a line with ribbon on trees or bushes or something like that. So when the operators come up to it, they can say, this is where I need to stop, because that's behind that is the buffer zone for the eagle or whatever we're trying to protect behind it. This road behind me now is actually in the buffer zone, and we have shut this road down to log truck traffic and heavy equipment use so that the eagles aren't disturbed by loud noises and banging trucks and that sort of thing during the nesting season. It shows that we're good stewards of the land and we care about what's out here. We value biodiversity and what's on the landscape, and species like the bald eagle are very important to us. It shows that we do care about the property and we're owners of the property and take ownership and value things around here. I'm very proud of this part of what I do. It's, like I said, a lot of people don't realize that we do other things besides just cut timber and plant trees. We do manage our species that are vulnerable and make sure they're viable in the future and we protect them. We have to, first of all, to do it, but we do it because we want to as well, to keep make sure the species are there for the future for our kids and grandkids to be able to see.